Morning, everybody. Welcome to the daily vlogs. I didn't quite know what to say then. We are doing March vlogs for the month of March, so vlogging every day. My name is Alex and I am obviously my yarny corner because that's what it says on the YouTube channel, and I run the My Yarny Corner hand-dyed yarn business alongside my partner Danny, and we live in Yorkshire in the UK. So, first of all, if you're new here, I am doing daily vlogs for March, except on a weekend, and I missed most of last week. I ended up getting really, really poorly. I don't know whether it was a mild flu, to be perfectly honest with you. The boys had had a cold in the couple of weeks previous, and I started with what I thought was a cold on the Saturday when the vlogs started, so on the 1st of March, and it sort of got a bit better, then got a bit worse, and got a bit better and got a bit worse, and I was thinking, oh, I'm okay, no I'm not, I'm okay, no I'm not. And then Tuesday I felt absolutely rotten. It developed so much worse, and Wednesday was the absolute worst day. I couldn't even stand up. I was so poorly. It's taken me a good week, just over a week, to get over it. I was really poorly on Wednesday, so I didn't vlog Wednesday. Thursday I was a little bit better, but still wasn't great. So I just decided, rather than coming on and giving you really boring vlogs where I'm just sat on the sofa, I'd just take the time, get better and come back refreshed, which is what I've done. So I'm really sorry about last week. I am much better now. I'm still a little bit chesty, but that's it. That's absolutely it. So everything is fine. Danny didn't get it, thankfully, so he's okay. The boys are both better now. So it's always the same way when you start vlogs, especially March vlogs. In fact, I should think about this for next year, not do March vlogs, either do February or April, because it's just always March. Was it last year or was it the year before when Danny got pharyngitis? And he ended up in hospital with that. Yeah, it's just always when you start a vlog, especially March. So I'll try and think on for next year. Anyway, so what did I get up to last week? Well, as I couldn't do anything, I'm saying I couldn't concentrate on anything, but I could. First of all, what do you find on this channel? I better just properly introduce myself. So the My Yarny Corner channel started as a knitting podcast. I was a crocheter who wanted to learn to knit. I could do basic knit and purl, but I couldn't follow a pattern kind of thing. So I kind of went on this journey with the channel and I learned how to knit. And so I always showed knitting and crochet. I've dabbled a bit in sewing. Although I like sewing, it's not anything I'm really passionate about. And then I joined my local knit group, and from that became a cross stitcher. How does that happen? One of the ladies at my local knit group is really big into cross stitching, and she made it her mission to turn me into a cross stitcher, which she did. It took about a year. I bought a kit, which is that one up there. If I can just, that's sheep. It was a DMC kit, and I bought this kit and I played around with it for about a year, and I didn't really get very far because I struggled to read the paper chart, so it took me a year to complete that. And then same friend said, oh, but Alex, have you heard of Pattern Keeper? Which was a complete game changer. So I ended up with Pattern Keeper and Markup RXP, which are apps that you use to work from your cross-stitch pattern. Once I started using that, it was a complete game changer, and I ended up well and truly down the rabbit hole of cross stitch. I've always been, in my younger days, quite big into drawing, pencil drawings, so cross stitch has kind of like hit that as well. I still draw, but not as much as I used to do. And cross stitch has kind of hit that aspect of making artwork, and I fell quite heavily into cross stitch. So the channel now consists of knitting, crochet and cross stitch. More cross stitch than knitting and crochet, I will say, because that is a huge passion at the moment. So yeah, you will see more cross stitch than you see knitting and crochet, but I still knit and I still crochet, and I run a hand-dyed yarn business as well, so there's a lot going on. It's always very exciting. Me and Danny also like to do a lot of vlogs, so there are always vlogs to be found on the channel. There's always random vlogs pop up. More so, the random vlogs are for the members of the channel. They'll see random things that I just go, oh, I'm going to vlog. And yeah, there's normally months of vlogs and all sorts of things. So that's properly introduced. Anyway, so while I was sick last week, I really couldn't do very much of anything, so I just sat and I stitched, and I did nothing else but stitch. I'm talking 8 hours a day, just stitched, because I couldn't do anything else. And you all know I've been working on a helping hand, which is my first Heaven and Earth Designs pattern. And I started it on the 10th of January. My friend bought me it for my birthday, and I started it then, and I got really overwhelmed because it was the biggest project I've done, but I carried on. It was completely different to what I'm used to. There was a lot of confetti in it, but I kept with it and I carried on, and I managed to not only finish it, but frame it. So I'm going to show you that now. Can you see? Oh my word, I'll turn around so you can see it properly. And there it is, all framed. It's very, very big, a lot bigger than I thought. If I try and put my hand... Oh, sugar me. Oh, that's not working, is it? There you go. It's a lot bigger than I thought, but I am so, so pleased with it, honestly. I am over the moon with it. I love it. So it was made for Danny. As I started stitching it, Danny also fell in love with it, and it just said, I really, really like it. So I said, well, I'll make it for you, and that's what I did. So it's been a gift for Danny, and yeah, 38,000 stitches, which I know it's not a big project, but for me it really was. And learning confetti, and oh my word, did I learn with that. But so pleased to have it done. So I did that. And I also did, if you've watched the Wheel of Fun, you've probably already seen this. The Wheel of Fun is something that we do each week on the channel. Every Monday we spin a wheel to choose a project for the week. There is a separate video for the Wheel of Fun. If you're new here, go and head over and have a look at that. But my Wheel of Fun spun Use a Precious yarn. So as you all know, I was working on a cowl for Danny, and I managed to do this amount, which I thought was a massive amount considering I did no more than an hour a day. So I worked on that and my cross stitch. I managed to finish my cross stitch. So if you remember with the cross stitch, I wanted it finished by the end of February, and I actually finished it on the 7th of March. So I don't think I did too badly. I really, really don't. So yeah, I'm just so giddy about it. I'm sorry to keep going on, but I am so giddy. I'm so proud of it. I keep looking up there and just, oh, it looks lovely. It really does. I used 18 count Ada for it, and I used the Easy Guide. Now this was a thing. Oh my word. I think it was it a Zweigart? I think it was a Zweigart Easy Guide. So the grid lines are actual, magpie. Grid lines are actually printed on the Ada, and the idea is that they just wash out. And I'd seen, before I bought it, I'd seen a video. It wasn't on YouTube, it was on some kind of cross-stitch website, saying how easy it was to wash out. So I really wasn't concerned. I was in my last 100 stitches on it, and I thought, this was on Friday, I thought I'm just going to look at some YouTube tutorials to see the best way about washing these grid lines out. And there wasn't anything. There was one video, I think. There was a lot of videos on how to grid the Ada, but not a lot on how to wash this Ada with the grid lines already on it. And I came across this one channel and watched the tutorial, and she was saying that she'd heard horror stories where these grid lines don't wash out, and I was like, what? I've not heard this. And she was saying that she was in part of a Facebook group, and a lot of people had really struggled to get these grid lines out, and you have to use like boiling kettle water. I was thinking, I'm not putting kettle water on it. So by this point, in my last 100 stitches, I was really starting to panic, because this is not the information I've had. So I ended up just try it. So I tried it in the bath first, and getting some nice hot water in the bath, and it didn't really do anything. These grid lines didn't. Oh, in the video, she was also showing after she'd washed it, she still had visible grid lines, and she was saying it'll do for me. And I'm like, it wouldn't do for me when I've put that amount of work into it. I'd be furious. So I tried it in the bath first. It didn't really work, and I kind of figured that the bath water was cooling down too quickly because it was a big area. So I put it in the sink and I filled up the water, which was really hot to touch, you know, where you couldn't keep your hand in it. I just had the hot tap on. And you could see immediately that the grid lines did in actual fact fade, but you need to keep the water hot. So I'd fill up the sink, I did it 3 times with really hot water, gave it 5 minutes, took it out, filled it up with really hot water again. And I did it 3 times, and they came out like an absolute dream. So it really isn't difficult. You just need to have it in hot water for about 15 minutes. And it came out absolutely brilliant. So there's no grid lines on that whatsoever. There's not even the faintest of lines. It's perfect. So yeah, maybe I'm going to do a tutorial at some point on that, because it really wasn't as bad as what I'd been led to believe. And I was panicking by this point. So yeah, did that. Got it all framed. Actually bought a frame from the range, which I've only just discovered the range for frames. I have been having a right challenge framing my cross stitch, because we don't have a frame shop near us, and yeah, I've been having a right challenge. So I've been going through charity shops, all sorts, trying to find frames, and then went into the range because my car was at the garage, which is right next to the range. Went in there, found the perfect frame, and was absolutely blown away by the frames that they do there. It was $7.99 for that frame. That was an absolute steal. The frame was, I think it was 22 inches by 20 inches was the frame. So for $7.99, that's an absolute steal. So yeah, got that done. So I'm going back to the range this week, because I've got 2 more cross stitch to frame. So I'm going to go looking for more. Yeah, so that's that. I am so proud of myself. I really am. I wanted to wait and not share it on any social media. I did share the photo with a couple of friends, but I wanted to wait and just surprise you all today. But I ended up sharing it in the Facebook group, so the Facebook members have already seen it, because I shared it on Friday night. So this week we've got a lot of dyeing to do this week, but unfortunately I cannot show you much of it, because we are dyeing Advents, Blanket Clubs and Yarn of the Month this week, which I can't share. But if we manage to fit in the shop dyeing as well, I will share that. Like I say, my car's back at the garage this week. My car's had a right nightmare. It really has. Honestly, the TPMS light has always been on the car since I got it. And I thought it was just a sensor. It turns out it's not just a sensor. There's an actual fault somewhere. And nobody can find this fault. The TPMS sensor needs to be fixed, otherwise it's not going to pass its MOT in June. So we're scurrying around trying to get this TPMS sensor fixed. So I had all new sensors in the car in the hope that that would fix it. That hasn't fixed it, so they've now all got to be taken back out and my old sensors put back in because it wasn't the issue. So I'm managing to get a refund on those because they were really expensive. They were £75 each and I had 4 sensors put in. So it was really expensive, but luckily I'm managing to get a refund. So the car's got to go back to the garage this week to have the sensors removed because that wasn't the problem. So, which is a good thing, a really good thing. So doing that this week, which means I'm going to call in at the range as well. We've got lots of yarn dyeing to do. We're nipping out this morning, need to nip out to the supermarket, so I need to do that. And so far, I think that's everything. I've been waffling for 16 minutes. Oh, and the other plan this week is squares. If you're new here, I've been crocheting the flag blanket, also for Danny. Danny's getting a lot at the moment. A real lot.
I've missed out in the last 3 years.
Oh, honestly, if you knew, he goes on about he never gets a cardigan and all he wants is a cardigan, aside from everything else that he gets. Anyway.
What happens when I do get the cardigan?
Yeah, what are you going to ask for then?
More.
Yeah, you'll ask for another cardigan.
I'll ask for trousers. Jazz it up.
I actually knit myself a pair of Advent, I called them my Advent pants a couple of years ago. If I can find a picture, I'll pop it on the screen. I love those. I'd never wear them out, obviously, but I knit them as part of a make-along and I absolutely love them. Fingering weight leggings. And they didn't take that long, actually. I was surprised. Anyway, I am making a flag blanket. So this is the top quadrant, all completed. But you can see that nothing else is complete. I didn't do any squares last week, so I need to finish squares for this. I've got all of the half and half squares done, but I need to do about 20 white ones or something like that, and so many blue ones, and then of course these big ones. So I need to get some progress on that this week. I'd like to get the white ones done. I won't be working on my yarny corner blanket this week. I'll do that next week, I think. So yeah, that's the plans for the week. Let's see how far I actually get, because I don't know. We'll see. I don't force myself to do things anymore. I used to, because I have a channel, I used to really force myself to do things, and I don't anymore. I've learned that you all just enjoy seeing what I'm working on. You've all been so kind. So whatever that may be, you're always here for it and you're always supportive. And that's really good, because it takes any pressure off me to get, you know, to knit on the latest pattern or try the latest pattern, or I just enjoy knitting and crocheting whatever I'm knitting and crocheting, and that's okay. That's what your crafting should be. So I'm going to get off just now, and then we need to nip out, and then I'll come back, have a little bit of a chat, see where we're up to.
Yeah, I don't know how long my wrist is going to last.
Funnily enough, when I was editing the video for the Wheel of Fun, I know we talked about your wrist, and then I didn't see it in the video.
I didn't talk about my wrist.
You do. Danny's got a poorly wrist.
But I'm holding the camera with my poorly wrist.
You are.
I don't know how long this is going to last.
He's got
anyway.
a ganglion cyst developed on his wrist bone, but it's really painful because it keeps, as it's swelling up, it's, what did the doctor say? Messing
Basically,
with all
it's
tendons.
connecting to my nerves, which is ruining my nerves a little bit on my wrist. That's not going to stop me yarn dyeing.
That's why it's all bandaged up. They have offered surgery, but he doesn't want it.
I'm having surgery yet.
He said it'll have to get a lot worse before he'll have surgery.
So yeah, I'm still gonna yarn. I'm still gonna do all the things I do anyway.
Yeah, it just looks really weird 'cause it looks like he's got 2 wrist bones.
It doesn't help when the doctor started pressing my wrist bone, and she wasn't even looking at the cyst.
She didn't know which one was the cyst and which one was his wrist bone. She went, which one is it? I'm like, shouldn't you know that really?
So yeah, so bless the doctors. Anyways, yeah. That's a bit of a morbid talking to show. Anyway, back to the upbeat
Hi
line.
everybody.
It's all about positivity, no negativity on this channel.
No, we don't do negativity.
No, we don't. Up
Don't
and
do
upwards.
negativity, don't do drama.
Don't do drama either. Some do.
Don't do that here. So we've been to the supermarket.
Yes. I've just been to Subway. So
And Danny's got a Subway.
I'm treating myself because I'm a poorly wrist, so.
I am going to do drama because I'm going to say I don't like Subway.
Why? He's
Danny has one and Finn has one. I don't.
So yeah, so if you see my other arm, it's crossed across my chest. It just means I'm giving support to my wrist. I'm such a princess, I know, but it's what it is.
You know what it's like when he's poorly.
Well, the man flu's real.
I never said it wasn't, my dad. I never said it wasn't.
Man flu is real. But anyways,
I
I never went down with the flu like some. Hey.
I was a princess, I'm not gonna lie. I was a complete princess.
I had to do all the jobs. I had to cover everything. That's how rude. I had to cover everything. Cats, dogs, everything.
And I just sat on the sofa. Oh.
She did. She did.
So we've done.
She refused to put down the
Cute
cross
down
stitch.
there.
I don't know. She refused to stop knitting and cross stitching though.
I did, yeah.
It's just
Danny kept telling me to go to bed, and I was like, no, I can still craft.
all good fun though. All good fun.
So we are going home now. Everything's done that we needed to get done this morning. All of our work jobs are done. All of the house jobs are done.
Yes.
What was that for?
Something I didn't.
You did do some of them.
Some
Not
of
all
them.
of them. I think everybody knows I've done the vlogging.
Well, considering I'm holding the vlog, we could do this for hours. Considering I'm in the vlog, unless she's edited me out and I'm not here, and she's just like cut half of me off, and she's just pretending she's talking by herself in the car. Then you know, she's edited me out with some music in the background or something.
If I was good with my editing skills, I'd do something funny there. But I'm
Yeah,
not.
you edit my face and put like a cat or a princess on my face.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I wish I could do that.
You probably
I
could
really
actually.
do.
If you looked at it properly, you probably could.
I bet I could. Anyway.
Anyways.
Anyways. Who said that? Ross or friends?
Anyways.
Yeah, we're off home now.
I'm going to have to say I love you and leave you because my
Freezing
wrist is starting to get sore.
Right, okay, we better go because Danny's wrist won't hold you all up anymore. He's holding all of YouTube in his hand.
See, this is what I have to deal with. It does hurt.
The 400 people that watch this is holding you all in his hand.
And I'm glad to take that weight on my shoulders. I'm very glad. Because as long as I can bring a smile to your day, then I've done my job.
That's it.
I know I'm not on the vlogs as much, but as long as someone gets a smile out of it, I'm happy. I've done what I needed to do.
There you go.
It doesn't matter what kind of a day you're having. You can be bandaged up like me, because I'm a princess. You can be bandaged up like me, or whatever, however your day is going. Don't worry, you can always smile and go through. I don't know where I went down that route.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyways, anyways is the word of the day.
Anyways.
So love you and leave you. Stay safe, everyone. Take it easy. Of course, you'll catch us in about 10 seconds. Bye, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Right. Oh, sugar. Nearly dropped my stitch marker pot then. Pull you in. I've just been working on some squares for my flag blanket. So I just need to sew them up. What is... Oh, it's the end. So I thought I'd come on and have an early evening chat while I'm doing this, because after this I'm going to start on tea. We are having a mini roast tonight. I've told you this before, I know I repeat myself a lot. I'll just have the vegetables, potatoes and Yorkshire puddings, and Danny will have all of that but with pie. So, I've ended up with the blue stitch marker on a blue square. That's not the smartest move. So I've just done 3 of my granny squares, and I'm just going to weave in the ends. And then I think what I'm going to do, without showing you the pattern, is I'm holding it like that because the pattern is just down there. I'm going to sew this section together before, and then sew the whole thing onto here. I think I'm going to try and do it that way because I think it might be a little bit easier as it's getting bigger, you know, rather than flipping the whole blanket around. If I make the quadrant and then just sew the whole quadrant on, I think I'm going to try it anyway. But first of all, weave in pesky ends. That's what I'm going to do first before I do anything else, and get those done. So these squares don't actually take too long. It's just faffy. This blanket's just a faff. That's all. But it's very enjoyable. So it's now nearly 3 o'clock. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing this, and then, like I say, I'm going to make tea. I mentioned a book to you last week, didn't I? The Husband. I'm still actually reading it. It's taking me forever. I didn't do a lot of reading last week because I was just stitching. But I can't work out how the book's going. It's really weird. It's good. It's really good. I've only got about 100 pages left to read. And it is very good. But it's not a thriller. And I don't know if it even said on any blurb anywhere that it was a thriller. Unless it heats up towards the end, I don't know. But I have enjoyed it. It's been good. But I'm going to be seeing what other books are around, because I'll have finished this either today or tomorrow, I think. But no, it has been very good. I haven't had an Audible book for a while. So I may get an Audible book to read. I don't know. We'll see. We shall just have to wait and see. So I'm saying I was just going to say we haven't done over much today. We have. We had a really busy morning. I had to place a yarn order this morning, so we had to go through... Why am I getting a needle out of there? I had to go through all the website and tot up all the orders for the clubs that we had, the Advent clubs and Blanket Club and Yarn of the Month Club, and just made sure I got the right amount of yarn ordered. We've got a little bit of yarn stock in, but we don't hold a lot of stock. I really don't like holding a lot of yarn stock at all. I try and keep the bare minimum, and that way the business always pays for itself then. That's what I'm looking for. So I've got a little bit of stock to be getting on with Blanket Clubs, but the yarn order will be either tomorrow or Wednesday anyway, so that's fine. So got all the jobs done this morning that needed doing, had a few computer bits to sort out and one thing and another. Then all my usual house jobs. So I've had a very productive day. We had a really quiet weekend, actually. We didn't do over much. We had Harry this weekend and took him home yesterday. Did I tell you I had my son's car? Oh, because my car was in the garage Friday having this whole sensor thing looked at again. I'd taken it to my son, where my son works, he doesn't work at the same place, without giving information about where he works away, which I'm not going to do, but he doesn't work at the same place as he did do last time I've talked about it. He works somewhere different now. And it's a bit of a trek to get to his work now. It's not just down the road. So it said, leave your car here and take my car, Mummy said, and I'll bring your car back after work, because they were really busy and they couldn't guarantee they'd be able to see my car when I got there. So I had to bring his car home. And as it turns out, they needed to keep my car until Saturday, so I never got my car back. And I was really stressed out about it. I don't like using my son's car. It's fine, you know, there's nothing wrong with his car. You just get used to your own car, don't you? And I'm terrible driving. I know I've mentioned this before on the channel. I'm a very confident driver, but I don't like going anywhere that I don't know. You know, just getting in the car and following maps is not my cup of tea at all. Some people love that, and I really wish I could be like that, but I'm just not. I like to know exactly where I'm going. The furthest I've ever been, a little bit of a side tangent here, the furthest I've ever been is Scarborough, and I took the boys a few years ago, just me and the boys, and we'd all been through a difficult time, and I really wanted to have a day out with the boys. So I worked up the courage to take them to Scarborough. But for me, was a massive deal because I don't like going on roads I don't know. So in order to conquer my fears a little bit, you're never going to believe this, but in order to conquer my fears a little bit, I sat on Google Street View and I followed that road all the way to where we needed to be, so I knew where I was going, and I had to do that to feel confident to do it. So borrowing Jake's car was, oh my word, it's not my car, it's not my car. But, you know, I know the roads really well. Well, until there was a massive diversion. There'd been an accident, so my normal route home, which is neither here nor there when, you know, there had been an accident, I think everybody was fine. My normal route home, the road was closed, so I had to go a completely other way that I didn't know to get home in a car that I didn't know. I was absolutely panicking. I had Josh and Danny with me, and at one point, as we hit this diversion, I was just full panic had set in. I think my biggest fear is ending up on a motorway. That's like, no way, I couldn't do it. Obviously, if I ended up on a motorway, I'd have to do it. I wouldn't just stop the car. But I know there was no way I was going to end up on a motorway, but I was just really panicking. I had Josh and Danny in the car. Josh knows the area quite well, and he's like, don't worry, just turn down here. And I'm like, I don't know this road, I don't know this road. And he's going, you will know this road in a minute, just keep going, you'll be fine. And between the pair of them, they managed to keep me calm until I got to a safe space that I knew, which was about 15 minutes down the road before I got to an area where I was comfortable. All that was to say that I still had Jake's car on Saturday, so we didn't go anywhere anyway because I had Jake's car. So yeah, it was a quiet weekend. Wow, that was a big tangent, wasn't it? But I've got my 3 squares. Ends woven in. Right. So I need a white, a blue and a white. A white, a blue and a white. Another white and 2 red and whites. There we go. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So first off, we want a white. So I've got these stitch markers on, and all I'm doing is making sure that's the front side. So white and a blue together first. And I'll just do this one. Where's my crochet hook? So yeah, we had a really quiet weekend. All that was to say we had a really quiet weekend. Didn't do anything. I did have my car back in time to take Harry home. When we take Harry home, there is a hill that is, all right, it's not like that. That's a bit dramatic, but it's pretty steep. And I wanted to be in my own car because you've always got to stop on the hill, always. And there was no way I was doing that in another car. I wouldn't have driven up the hill. I'd have just parked at the bottom and Danny would have walked Harry up the hill. Oh, typical. You know, I pressed play on the video and there's a cat at the window. How did you all know that was going to happen? Anyway, I'm really looking forward to tea tonight. I really am. I wasn't eating much last week with being poorly. So I've not 100% got my appetite back yet, but I am really looking forward to a roast dinner tonight. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on and sew this. I'm saying sew this strip together. I'm actually crocheting the strip together, not sewing it together. I just go through each of the stitches and do a single crochet. Normally when I join any crochet, I always join with a slip stitch. But on this, oh, that's not right. I've got an extra stitch there. On this one, I couldn't join it with a slip stitch because it was pulling the square. So go back across. And it's really easy to miss a stitch. So when I'm doing it, I have to go into the first one and then make sure I'm going into the second one. Because otherwise, like I've just done, it's so easy to miss a stitch. It was worse on them half and half squares because of how they were crocheted. They were really tightly together. Let me just see if I've got this right this time. I should have. There's the same number of stitches on each square, so it should be fine. But let's just check. Let's get in the corner one. Done. So now, so then I hold it the right way, like this. So then it's a blue and a white with the blue at the top, like that. So no, that's not how it is. It's like that. White, blue, yeah. So I'm going to hold that together like that. You're going to have to just keep talking to me while I do this one now because I can't quite stop. So we'll just chat about something else. I bet this vlog's really long actually, because I think I was speaking for about 15 minutes this morning. Oh well. It makes up for last week, doesn't it? Right, stick that in there. Getting these half and half squares, you've got to be so careful that you've got the orientation of the square correct. I haven't, touch wood, messed it up yet, but I am triple checking it and quadruple checking it before I crochet it together. If you can hear that, that's the dog licking. Isn't it, Rubles? Stuart is asleep on the sofa. Luigi's just gone out. Danny's just let him out. Jack is asleep. I think he's upstairs in the dog bed with Bert.
Jack's on TV.
Oh, is he? Who was upstairs with Bert? Oh, it might have been Luigi, actually. Might have been Luigi. One of them was. The cats still haven't got used to the lounge being moved around. They're still not comfortable with it. At all. Right, that's the third one done. So that looks like, oh, sugar me. That I'm doing that top row there. That's how I'm doing it. Right, I'm going to get off, carry on with my squares, and I will see you tomorrow. I think it's day 11 tomorrow. Oh, do you know, this week, I didn't even mention it earlier, it's Josh's birthday on Saturday, my middle one. My middle boy is going to be 18. Can you believe that? 18 years old. Wow, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we will be taking him for his first pint on Saturday. That's what we're doing this weekend. But yeah, Josh is going to be 18. I can't believe it. Where does the time go? Finn is 14. Yeah, he's 14. Is he 14? Is Finn 14? He can't be 14. Goodness me, where does the time go? You blink and they've grown up. Right, I'm going to stop waffling. I will see you tomorrow for day 11. Bye, everybody.